Hi, my name is Christina Sharp. I teach business here at MiraCosta College, and today I'm going to talk to you about being your own boss. Specifically, what you're going to learn in this video is number one, where ideas come from. Then we're going to talk about some strategies for generating ideas for your own business. And finally, once you have developed some business ideas, we're going to talk about some ways that you can evaluate those ideas. So let's get started. The first rule of starting a business is do not fall in love with an idea. Every idea has to be thoroughly researched. There are tons and tons of products and services out there that have been created because a potential entrepreneur thinks it's going to be the next best thing. But just because you think it's going to be the next best thing doesn't mean that everyone else in the world is going to love it too. So research is key to generating and evaluating business ideas. And really there's two ways that we develop ideas. The first is what's called inside-out analysis. And with inside-out analysis, the individual first evaluates their own competencies and then looks for new products or services that they can develop based on those competencies to offer to consumers. So let's say, for example, that I have really great fashion sense and I really love fashion. Then perhaps a service that I might develop is as a personal stylist. The next method is what's referred to as outside-in analysis. And with outside-in analysis, the individual first assesses the market to identify needs and then relates those needs to their capabilities. So I might notice, for example, that there are lots of kids down at the beach and none of them have sun protection or protection that I think is appropriate as sun protection. And I think, maybe it would be good to develop a line of polarized sunglasses for small children so that they can properly protect their eyes. Or maybe I want to develop a line of hats that are SPF, that have SPF 50 or something like that. So I'm looking at the market and I'm identifying a need and I'm creating a product or service that fits that need. That's referred to as outside-in analysis. So using those two different approaches for analysis, I'm going to demonstrate for you some methods of business idea generation. So the first generator is about doing what you love. And in order to generate ideas using this method, you ask yourself some questions such as, how do you like to spend your free time? If you won the lottery, what would you do? What do you like to read? What types of books do you like to read? Is there a specific genre that you appreciate? And what would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail? And you record your answers down to these questions, and you're going to circle your top two. So here I've listed my passions and my interests. And let's circle my top two. I'm going to say that my top two is probably the ocean and art. The next step in identifying these interests and passions is to identify the steps in doing the activity and the pain points associated with that activity. So the steps, what I mean by that is, what exactly do you need to do to participate in your favorite activities or the activity that you circled? And the pain points are those barriers that tend to keep people from participating. So in looking at my love of the ocean, so the steps that I have to take and are going to the beach. Well, first of all, I have to get there. And in getting there, the pain points I can identify is the need to physically get to the beach, finding parking, locating it. And once I find parking, I need to locate a good spot on the beach to plop down all of my stuff. The next step is I have to bring my beach stuff. And so the pain point there is having all of the stuff: chairs, shelter, toys, food, body boards, things like that. And then the final step is playing in the water. And there the pain points might be the cost associated, or the ability to know how to surf, bodyboard, or paddle. The next area of interest that I circled was art. And the steps in my appreciation of art might be, number one, locating cool and unique paintings to view. So the pain point there might be doing the research to find where the paintings I want to go see are located. And number two, going and spending time at that particular museum and viewing art. And there the pain points are knowing when and where to go, and making my loved ones who generally come with me love art as much as I do. So I'm going to circle the pain points that I believe are most compelling. So here I've circled 3 pain points, and each of these circled pain points represents a customer need. So what I do then is I develop a business idea based around these pain points. My first pain point, I'm just going to go back here really quick, need to physically get to the beach, find location, find parking, locate a good spot, is to provide a beach concierge service for oceanside beach visitors. My service would locate and reserve a good spot, provide chairs, towels, toys, food, etc. And really here I'm combining pain points 1 and 2. My second business idea might be to rent paddle and surfboards, or to provide surf lessons, or I could do guided paddleboard tours. And then my third business idea is based on my appreciation of art, and that might be to create a podcast for children, my loved ones, focusing on art appreciation. Each week I might identify one famous painting, discuss it in a manner that appeals to small children, so that when I take my daughter to the art museum, she'll be engaged in it just as much as I am. Okay, so we're going to park these business ideas for now and move on to our next generator. And our next idea generator I call solving a problem. And solving a problem kind of works like this. Have you ever been frustrated by a product, or better yet, the product that you're looking for doesn't exist? Maybe the service that you're looking for doesn't exist. And so in this generator, you spend a day looking for pain points. And as you go through your day, you ask yourself, what could be better about this product or service? So here's an example from my life. This is Mia. Mia is my sister's dog. Mia loves going for walks. Loves them. And there's my niece. She's getting ready to take Mia for a walk. You see Mia's got her leash, she's in her collar, she's got her poop bag, she's ready to go. So the pain point with taking Mia for a walk, quite frankly, is poop. You have to pick it up with one of these lovely little poop bags. And for me, in my particular neighborhood, so for me the pain point is when you take Mia for a walk, trash cans are not plentiful. It's a 2.5-mile loop where once Mia does her business, I have nowhere to put the poop except to hang on to it until I get home. So sometimes I'm walking a mile, up to 1.5 miles, carrying a bag of poop. My sister's solution was to let Mia carry her poop, which is not really a solution because, let's be honest, that's kind of gross. So is there something better? I took myself to Petco to see if there was some kind of collar or leash or harness that was designed to carry dog poop, at least until you could find somewhere to put it. And my idea here is that the poop goes in the top and a bag comes out the bottom. So at no time do your fresh doggy bags interact with your full dog poop bags. When you get home, you can just empty the little backpack or harness out. And again, my trip to Costco yields nothing. So I have a business idea. That business idea is to create a dog harness or dog collar that holds dog poop until it can be properly disposed of. Again, holding on to that business idea and moving on to the next generator. So generator number 3 is called utilizing your experience. And with utilizing your experience, you list the names of your most recent employers, and then for each company, you identify pain points related to the product, service, or process. And then you ask yourself, what did employees or customers dislike about this service or process? These are where your business opportunities come from. So let's say that my employer was Maria's Mexican Cuisine, and the service that we provided was serving traditional Mexican dishes in a fine dining environment, and I provided excellent customer service. Well, the pain point related to the product or service, first of all, was customers really enjoyed the food, but they frequently mentioned that it wasn't healthy. And I provided award-winning customer service that many customers said they had never experienced anywhere else. Two opportunities there. The first is fresh and healthy Mexican food. The second is to be a service training consultant where I go in and train waiters and waitresses and restaurant staff on exceptional customer service skills. Moving on. The next generator is called recycling a business idea from another location. Have you come across a business or idea that meets a need your community may have? In this case, you would identify the company or the idea, identify the concept and the need being fulfilled, and determine the market viability in your location. Here's an example. So this is a restaurant that I came across called the Soup Lounge. The Soup Lounge is kind of like Chipotle except for soup. So you walk in, you can order one of 5 different kinds of soups. They're basic soups, vegetable-based. You can add in different vegetables, meats if you want, and then once you're done adding extra ingredients, you get an apple, a water, and then you can pay a little bit more for a nicer drink. And all of this costs about $6. So really, it's Chipotle for soup. I thought this was a really cool concept personally because I love soup, but does everybody in Southern California love soup? And is this something that would work year-round? I don't know. It's something that I might want to investigate. Here's another recycling idea. You might be looking at this wondering why I took a picture of rooftops. I wasn't just taking a picture of rooftops, I was taking a picture of what I think is a pretty compelling business idea. So this is my girlfriend's house. My girlfriend lives in France. And what I was actually taking a picture of was these windows, and specifically the window coverings. So these are window coverings that are used pretty widely across Europe, and they're hard coverings that come down across your whole window. They lock, and so they provide a little bit of security and protection for your house. They're energy efficient, and they provide privacy. They are everywhere in Europe. So the business idea that comes associated with that would be European style window shades that are energy efficient, they add security and privacy, and they are incredibly durable. Here's idea recycling in action. This was a contraption that I saw in Berlin, Germany. It's a buggy that the people on that buggy are pedaling, and I think they're drinking beer or going around to breweries. It's some kind of tour. Several months after I saw that in Berlin, Germany, somebody thought it was a great idea and brought it to San Diego. Moving on, generator number 5 is called Leverage Your Major. Do you know what entrepreneurial opportunities are available to students in your major? English majors can find entrepreneurial or independent work doing writing, editing, or providing tutoring services. Sociology majors might be able to do research, might be able to do community organizing, or some other kind of advocacy-based service. If you don't know what you can do as an entrepreneur or an independent contractor in your major, talk to your favorite faculty member. Talk to that person who got you interested in that major in the first place. You can also go to the Career Center. They have great resources to help you determine what you can do with your major, or contact the professional association that is related to your major. I know in business we have the American Management Association, the Academy of Management, the American Marketing Association. There are psychology-based organizations, there are sociology-based organizations. So for just about every major, there is a professional association that can point you to career-based entrepreneurial opportunities in that field. So I have a list. How do I evaluate? For each of my business ideas, I am going to do a little bit of thoughtful, reflective legwork. And I'm going to use the beach concierge as an example here. Okay, so I'm going to evaluate using my beach concierge as an example. Your first job is to clearly describe the idea in 5 sentences or less. So here I'm going to provide beach concierge service for Oceanside Beach visitors. My service would locate and reserve a good spot, provide chairs, towels, toys, food, and anything that will allow families to just show up and enjoy the beach. What is the compelling need that is not currently being met? While there are currently vendors on the beach in Oceanside that provide chairs, surfboards, and some toy rentals, there currently isn't a business that provides a one-stop shop service that includes the ability to have a spot on the beach reserved, food and equipment, and have that equipment torn down, by the way. Describe the target market, families in larger groups visiting the beach in Oceanside who don't want to waste their valuable vacation time looking for a spot and doing all of the other things, they just want to show up. Is the idea interesting and exciting to you? Yes, I like meeting people and making them happy. I'm also interested in this because I don't think it will cost much to start and no one else is currently doing it. So I rate each of these criteria, the compelling need, the target market, and whether or not the idea is interesting to me on a 1 to 10 scale. So I've rated it on 1 to 10, and I'm going to do that for each idea. Those ideas that are your highest rated ideas are the most desirable and they merit further investigation. By the way, I set that 25 to 30 as an arbitrary number. You might want to go higher and go 27, or you might want to go 20 to 30. It's up to you. So now that I have a list of ideas that I want to, that I've identified for further investigation, it's time to dig a little bit deeper. The first thing that we need to do is look at market factors. We need to identify whether or not there is a clear need for the product or service and is the timing right. So is there a clear need for my beach concierge service? I think there is, but I might do a little bit of interviewing local hotels, talking to my friends. I might even make up a little survey to find out the types of equipment people may want to have included, the number of times a year somebody might want to use this, and what they might expect to pay. Then you need to articulate your competitive advantage. Competitive advantage is a benefit that exists when a company has a product or service that is seen by its target market as better than those of its competitors. Basically, the simple way to say this is what sets you apart? What makes you better than the competition? Next, we need to look at the economics. Is the venture potentially financially rewarding? Does it have significant profit and growth potential? My beach concierge, for example, is it something that's going to be able to provide me income year-round? If not year-round, can I make enough in the summer months and over the holidays to last throughout the year? That's definitely something that I would want to look at. In terms of management, is there a good fit between your skills, your knowledge, and the opportunity itself? If I'm not a great cook, then maybe it's not a good idea for me to open a Mexican food restaurant. And that is an example of the fatal flaw. I may have a great idea, but there might be one thing that will prevent me from doing well or prevent the business from being successful. I need to be able to identify what that is and mitigate it if possible. And finally, before you ultimately take the plunge, you do want to make sure that the venture is appropriate for your skills and abilities, that you have explored all opportunities. You might want to ask yourself if your idea needs to be refined further, what is going to set you apart from the competition, and how easy is it for somebody to see what you're doing, say that's a great idea and I'm going to copy it, because that's always something that you should be aware of. This may be the end of the video, but it's not the end of your research, hopefully. Here I've got some links for you. Edward Hess is a University of Virginia professor that did this short little 3-minute video that I think is fantastic. It's about starting small and creating a compelling value proposition. 3 minutes, it's well worth your time. Entrepreneur and Inc. magazines are magazines that are focused on startups and small businesses and independent contracting. I think they're great resources and they have great websites. Immigrants Rising has an excellent site that has resources available to you. The MiraCosta College Career Center can help you locate an internship or help you to identify what are some things you could do with your major. And finally, there's always me. I'm always open to answer questions, to provide you feedback, point you in the right direction. So by all means, feel free to reach out as you develop or generate those business ideas.